got a chance to see the new offensive coaching staff for the first time, and we got a chance to talk to Clint Kubiak after practice. What are your first thoughts on that?
Clint is a man of few words. I don't think he's someone that's necessarily gonna open up the playbook for anybody. But I like the stuff that he did say. I like, the one answer I really like the most, and I saw it kind of get played as like a non-answer, like on social media a little bit. But I thought the answer that was best to me was, I asked him like, what do you wanted the identity of the offense to be, and he said he's gonna let the players decide it. I really like that. It's not that he's not gonna try to force a philosophy on anyone. He's gonna take the information he has and then kind of try to construct a plan around it and make sure he's playing to the strengths of his roster and everything. And he said he doesn't know what the identity can be yet because he hasn't seen it yet. So I thought that was something that was good from him. I thought the coaches had a lot of energy. Janoko, the quarterback's coach, was out playing defense and stuff, and just kind of watching how he was interacting with the quarterbacks. I thought that was kind of fascinating. The way they ran the practice was completely different than anything we've seen before, because they've just been doing the same exact thing for like 15 years. And it's the offensive linemen are here, the running backs are here, the tight ends are here. They're going to go through the routes going this direction from here, and then they're going to move up to here. And it's just kind of like you knew exactly what they were going to do, how they were going to do it, how they were going to stretch, where they were going to be lined up. And then you go out there and it's like, whoa, like, this is different. And, that was just kind of cool. Like, it was just kind of cool to have a different energy to it. The wide receivers coach has an incredible amount of energy.
Yeah.
Very vocal.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the few things that stood out to me.
Derek Foster was really vocal too, the running backs coach. That's why I heard 29 getting corrected a lot.
Yeah.
Great. Look, one of the big things that came up was shortening the play calls. I still heard lengthy play calls. I mean, we're hearing West Coast. We're hearing identifying where the X is going to go. We're hearing identifying where the halfback's going to go. But I thought it was interesting that so many people, including Dennis Allen, including your conversation with Michael Jacobs, had said it's shorter than it used to be. What's interesting about the long play calls is a long play call is hard on the quarterback and easy on everyone else. A long play call means you're telling everybody what they're doing on the play, and the quarterback needs to master it. If you can do a short play call and you're asking everyone to understand the offense and maybe get what was they were saying, you can do things quicker, you can move quicker. We've heard that so many times. We've heard get rid of the ball quickly. We've heard pass it quick passing game, and you think that's going to benefit Derek Carr. And now we're adding terminology to yet another thing that could just make things more fluid and functional. Do you? I mean, how much do you make of the talk of that in the first weekend?
Excuse me. Well, the first thing, like just as far as like the play call goes, excuse me.
Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, like a Peyton one would be like gun flex, right? Stack, dragon, smoke, kill, turbo sucker, right? And like I was hearing stuff that was just like dolphin 19 whiz.
Yeah.
Like, so some of them were a little bit longer, but some of them were just like they were calling a formation and a concept, and you kind of had to know where to go based off of that.
Right.
So some of them are still like a little bit wordy, but like the Peyton stuff was kind of like,
Yeah. We're going to spell it out for everyone.
And the thing that would do is like, so it would put a lot of stress on the quarterback, but then if you're a wide receiver, you can go out there and, okay, I know the formation and I know what I'm supposed to do. You don't really have to like know as much because it's on the quarterback to kind of say it all. But like, if you're trying to get in and out of the huddle and everything, that stuff can be complicated. And if you have a quarterback who basically built the offense for 10, 15 years, it's kind of easy to do that. But then if you're someone just kind of coming into this and it's just like, whoa, would you say I got to say all that? Like, why? Like, you got to hear it and repeat it. Yeah,
it destroyed some younger quarterbacks.
So it's tough. So I like that this is a little bit easier. And I think it's going to be a little bit easier on the offense. And one of the things Jacobson said, and I went to him because he's the only holdover from last year to this year. He just said, like, for me, it means I have to know the playbook better. Like, I can't go out there and I can't just like BS my way through anything, because if they call a concept or if they call it one route, I got to know what I'm doing off of that, as opposed to like just kind of having everything laid out for me to where I can just go out in the huddle, hear it, and okay, this is a formation, here's the route, this is what I got to do.
Yeah, it's really interesting. My favorite thing that Kubiak said, because we spent about 6-7 minutes with him trying to get him to open up about his offense, and he would try to misdirect, and he'd try to be, this isn't about me. He said that a few times. This is going to be about the players. It's not going to be about me. But I kind of set him up because I kind of knew what I thought I was gonna hear. Where I said, everybody says, this is part of the Kubiak, his own father, and Mike Shanahan principles of the offense. And I said that are obviously based on the run game and the play action passing game. And I mean, are those core principles that you still believe in, even though everyone has adapted it into their own thing so much? And he said, absolutely. I mean, he said, that's the foundation of everything we do. He goes, and he said, and if we're going to have a good play action run game, we're going to have a good run game. And so it's our job to teach the run game. And it's just, we've heard Dennis Allen say that 4 or 5 times about why he wanted this to be their offense. And Clint Kubiak unapologetically said, yes, we're going to be a team that runs the ball and runs play action off our running game. And that might be a basic fundamentals of football, but guess what? We haven't seen it around here in a long time.
Yeah,
So if
absolutely.
they get that right, and they brought in assistants who worked for Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak to run it. I mean, they are unapologetically trying to go with the base principles of an offense that has worked in different formats for a long time.
Yeah, I know a NFL playbook is only a fraction of a college playbook, but do you think because of the transfer portal and players just having to move around to different systems year to year that they'll be able to retain this information quicker?
I don't know.
Or is it still yet to be proven?
It's a very fair question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really fair question, and it really depends how much you put on guys. I mean, it is a really interesting concept, how much you put on the quarterback and how much you don't. I mean, it's not something we had to think about covering the Saints for a long time because they had Drew Brees for a long time. And even when they replaced Drew Brees, they replaced him with veterans for a long time. We haven't seen the Saints sort of, how do you make C.J. Stroud work as a rookie? How much do you simplify for him? How much do you put on other people or whatever? But yeah, we haven't seen an offense work without Drew Brees as the quarterback. So
right.
figuring out the right balance and how much you're asking players to do, it's probably the balance that coaches like this have to always figure out. And it probably often depends how much you think you can put on the plate of the players that you have on your roster.
Mm-hmm.